welcome to another edition of Tuscaloosa Talks. This time we're at Westervelt. This is on site. We're very excited, and I am joined by Cade Warner. Cade, how are you doing today?
Doing well.
All right, Cade, we're at Westervelt. Tell us a little bit about the canopy room we're in. Then we're going to talk about Westervelt overall.
Yep. So this office was built in the 1970s. Strong Southeastern architecture influence. That came from my grandfather's time in World War II. He was in the Mars Task Force stationed in Burma, and they made their way throughout Southeast Asia. He fell in love with architecture, fell in love with the culture, and brought that back to Tuscaloosa in the 1970s. Feel very fortunate to have this resource. It's a beautiful campus, beautiful building, very nice meditation garden. The entire aesthetic was designed around reflection and collaboration and bringing people at ease within their skin and their spirit. And the canopy is just the most recent extension of that. So this is a collaboration space, modern collaboration space, designed with biophilic properties in mind. So we have lumber that was made at our Moundville facility just south of town. We have a tree above us. We have a canopy outside of us. We have water features. We have the company's logo and a moss wall that happens to resemble kind of a bird's eye view of a traditional forest mosaic, which we think is really cool. And this is just meant to be an extension of, that reflection, collaboration, creativity spirit. And it's a unique place for a more modern workforce to come together, be one with nature, especially for our office employees that don't have the opportunity to get outside as much. And we use it for everything from meetings to things just like this, to having guests visit. And so far it's well used and people seem to appreciate it, and we hope to do more of this.
So if you were, for someone who's not familiar with what is Westervelt's mission today, tell the people of Tuscaloosa what that is.
Yeah, maybe let me go back in time a little bit.
Okay.
But we're a 140-year-old organization, so multi-generational, privately owned, family-run. Got our start in forest products in the 1880s in the Midwest, slowly made our way south, found our way to Tuscaloosa in the 1920s. 2027 will be the 100-year anniversary of us being in this community.
Oh, really?
Which we're really excited about, and we hope to have some fanfare around, and we're working on a couple really cool things right now, which we can talk about some other time. But started as a paper and packaging company, began acquiring land in the 1930s, started our recreation and wildlife business. Throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s, really grew into a conglomerate, focused less on bag production, more on packaging production, got into lumber in the 1970s, started our real estate portfolio in the 1970s as well, and just grew in that space over time and expanded into a multi-state operation and ended up being one of the largest private paper and packaging producers in the country. Made a really tough decision in 2005 to exit the paper and packaging industry.
Mm-hmm.
For a number of different reasons, competitive dynamics, capital that was going to be required to modernize our facilities. But once the decision was made, we haven't looked back, and we chose to redeploy those proceeds in a number of different ventures. So we expanded our lumber operations. We bought additional timberland. We started our ecological services business. We extended our real estate portfolio, bought some assets in New Zealand, started an industrial pellet facility in western Alabama in Pickens County, and we've been growing on all of that today. The only thing that we're not still in is the industrial pellet facility. Mm-hmm. We had a partner from the UK that ultimately bought our interest out, but today we're a vertically integrated, diversified natural resources and forest products company. We have 5 principal lines of business. I'll start with wood products, which is predominantly southern yellow pine lumber manufacturing. We have 2 very large, modern, efficient facilities in the state of Alabama, one in Hill County in Moundville and one in Clark County in Thomasville. Together, about 580 million board feet of annual production capacity produced. Yeah, quite large. We are either the largest or one of the largest lumber producers in the state. Make everything from boards to dimensional lumber to timbers products and specialty products. So big employer in West Central Alabama. Then we have our forest resources business, which is about 640,000 acres of timberland owned and managed internally across 6 southern states, with the vast majority of that being in Alabama and specifically in West Central Alabama. It's about 400,000 acres, which I believe makes us the largest private landowner in the state and one of the largest private landowners, if not the largest in the Southeast.
Yeah. Certainly, I know in Tuscaloosa County.
Correct. Yep. Tuscaloosa County is one of our bigger holdings. And within that business, we also manage about 700,000 acres of recreational leases. We have a commercial hunting operation in Pickens County. We have a vertically integrated nursery and orchard operation where we've been managing genetics for going on 50 years, produce about 10 million containerized seedlings per year that we use to replant all of our timberland, as well as we sell some commercially to external landowners. We have an ecological services business that we founded in 2006. We've completed over 100 ecological restoration projects in the last, 20 years or so, across 11 states, working in about 15 now, hope to be in 17 by the end of the year. Have offices in 6 states, employ about 80 people in that business as well. Many projects in Alabama to support Mercedes expansion of Highway 43, Mobile Airport, and other forms of economic development. Then we have a real estate portfolio largely focused on Tuscaloosa and Shelby County, but starting to look in other places in Georgia and South Carolina as well. And, much of our portfolio is around North River, but we're looking to grow that over time. And Shelby County is a budding hotspot for us right now, so we're focused in that area as well. And then lastly, we have our New Zealand operations, and those are ecotourism, agriculture, and recreation.
Well, if you ever need to send me there to check it out, do a full 2-3 weeks due diligence, hey, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Understood. Yeah, sure.
I imagine you could get a few volunteers who want to go.
Quite a number. And it's a beautiful place, great culture, quite a trek to get to, but once you're there, it's heaven on earth.
Well, it's surprising. It's really been surprising to me as I've continued in 19 years in this job to learn about Westervelt's footprint across really now the world when you talk about New Zealand. Everything that you do, you're a young leader. What do you enjoy the most about it? And all this that you're part of here at Westervelt, what is to you the most fun part of your job?
All of it. I love what I do. And, just very candidly, I feel like the most fortunate person on the planet. I get to wake up every day in a community I care deeply about, go to work at a place I care deeply about, with people I care deeply about, and industries I care deeply about. And we're doing things that I truly believe are changing the world for the better. And at the end of the day, I get to go home to a loving family, and then I get to do it again the next day. So I really enjoy it all. We take a multi-stakeholder approach to business, trying to create value for all of our stakeholders, be that customers, employees, suppliers, our communities, the environment, and ultimately our shareholders. And we're lucky. We deal with a lot of really good people, and we're getting to create value for them, make their lives better, provide meaningful employment, meaningful economic development, good environmental projects, and get to be a part of communities where we live and work, where our customers exist, where our employees live and work, and where our shareholders reside. And so we feel like we're part of something bigger, and we're creating a more sustainable, value-added world that's continuing on the path to prosperity.
Well, recently, you and Westervelt made a significant contribution to the Saban Center. And because of that, the Earth and Sustainability exhibit is going to be named in honor of Westervelt's contribution. Why make the decision to make such a significant investment to do something like that for STEM education in Tuscaloosa and really West Alabama?
Yeah, quite a number of reasons. But first, let me just say thank you to the Saban Center, to the city of Tuscaloosa, to the state of Alabama for making this resource available. I truly believe it's going to be revolutionary for this community and for the western portion of the state over time. And we're really excited to be a part of it. We're proud to have our name associated with it. We feel like we're just a very small element of something that's much bigger than us. And it's really exciting. It's exciting for our employees. It's exciting for the community. It's exciting for business development and retaining students and bringing new business to the area. And we're really thankful for all of that. While we were interested out the gate, specifically in Earth and Sustainability exhibit hall, is sustainability really is and always has been the lifeblood of this organization.
I think that would surprise a lot of people to hear that.
Yeah.
So why is that?
We rely absolutely on the wise and sustainable use of Earth's natural resources. And we're a multi-generational family, 140 years old, want to be around for another 140 years, and then are doing everything we can to ensure that. And when you're managing forests that mature over decades, you got to think with a multi-decade horizon. And it really instills a multi-generational perspective. So there's an economic incentive to approach things sustainably. And then we have an environmental ethos that keeps us interested in that as well. I manage the company by what I call the 4 E's, which are economics, environment, ethics, and excellence. And I think the Saban Center epitomizes all of those. From an economic standpoint, what I mentioned earlier, it should drive economic development, help us retain and recruit new business, help us retain and recruit talent, makes it a more enjoyable community to live in, helps us, entice employees to come to this area, helps us raise our children, better educate our children. From an ethical standpoint, we've always believed that the community is one of our most important stakeholders and that our relationship with the community is symbiotic. Mm-hmm. The community gives us a license to operate. It gives us the resources that we need to operate. It's the home where our people live, and it's where we recreate and live our lives on a daily basis. And so from an ethical standpoint, we've always felt a strong desire to be involved and to give back, whether through charitable means or through our time, and just being involved in civic projects of all kinds. And across generations, the Westervelt family, which is now the Westervelt, Warner, and Hibbert families, have always taken that responsibility to heart and have been engaged with their time, talent, and treasure. And our employees are engaged as well. And I think the whole company, the entire ecosystem, deserves credit for that. From an environmental standpoint, again, sustainability is our lifeblood. It is our strategy. It is absolutely imperative to everything we do. We have entire business models built around that. And for us to have the ability to help educate the future of this community and the future workforce in strong environmental ethics and sustainable principles, we feel like we have an ethical responsibility to do that. And there's true environmental good that's created. And, we believe in what we call healthy forest, and healthy forest will lead to healthy markets and healthy communities and good water and good air and all of this. And it's all interrelated. And we want to tell that story, and we want to educate people that may not be as aware of those relationships within what we do. And then from an excellence standpoint, this is going to be the shining beacon on the hill. It is a high-quality project that's going to have a revolutionary impact on this community. And again, we're just proud to be a part of it. And where it's located, we have historical ties to that area. It's at the terminus of the Jack Warner Parkway. We had our paper mill down here. Our headquarters is right here. Half of our employee base drives right by that building every day. And it will be, again, the shining beacon on the hill. And it's something we can all be proud of, and that you're doing a wonderful job building an ecosystem around. And I'm just a firm believer that Tuscaloosa's best days are ahead of us, and I'm just proud to be part of the ride.
Well, what's going to be really cool is it's going to open the same year you're celebrating your 100th anniversary here in Tuscaloosa. So the timing could not be any better. All right, before we close, it was an honor to work with your granddad. It's an honor to work with you. And there's no doubt you give all of us great faith in the future of this community.
Thank you.
You seemed a very serious person. I know you to be a very serious person, but there's a fun side, right?
I hope so.
Yeah. What do you do for fun?
Oh, man. Mostly I work right now. But when I'm not working, I'm spending time with my family. And again, I've been just absolutely blessed. I have a wonderful, loving wife who's my partner in everything, 2 beautiful kids that are intelligent, good-natured, and a lot of fun to be around. And we like to spend our time traveling and being outdoors. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of hiking, we do some hunting, some fishing, spend some time on Lake Tuscaloosa, spend a lot of time out there, actually. Wonderful resource this community has, again. But, at the end of the day, I have a responsibility to take advantage of the privilege and good fortune that I've had, and to move the ball down the field for this organization, for my family, and for this community. And I take that responsibility really seriously. So that leads me to work quite a bit. And I feel like I'm setting a good example for my kids, trying to instill a certain set of values in them. And the best way that I can do that is through work, and then spending time with them outdoors.
Well, Tuscaloosa is fortunate to have you. And if you need affirmation that our future is bright here in Tuscaloosa, Cade Warner provides that. This has been another edition of Tuscaloosa Talks.